So, a valid order block. Now, I'm going to show this here right now, actually. So that way we're pretty much golden. So first off, we need to identify a liquidity sweep. Or what we think is going to be a liquidity sweep. And I think we have found one right here. Boom. Down, up, lowest point, boom. So, the order block is the leg up into the move back down per this, right? This right here is our order block. This one, small candle. I think. Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. I don't know. Downtrends are a little bit more complicated because you have to think in reverse. It's like up that causes the liquidity sweep back down, right? Would that be it? Would this be a disrespected order block? So if order block is a range, if the order block is a range, right? What we're looking for specifically is for price not to have a wick go above the order block, right? That is a valid order block. If price, for whatever reason, has a wick that goes way above said order block, it is no longer valid. It has been disrespected, and as a result, what was a continuation has now become a break of structure back to the upside. If that makes sense. And break of structures are confirmation that price is going to continue moving per the reversal of a liquidity sweep. So, let's find an order block just to keep things level-headed. Down, up, we have a low here. Boom. Yay. We have a sweep. The leg up was the cause of it. This right here is our order block. Boom. We would need to encompass, or the GAN box, or not the GAN box, where's the rectangle? This. We would need to encompass this all the way down to this right here, right? Price, let's go ahead and actually expand this to that candle there. Boom. Everything down past this liquidity sweep specifically, because we had down, up, boom, and we had down, up. Actually, we swept way over here. Because price does not have a wick going higher above this, right? That would make this a valid order block. If we had an order block just like this, but we also had price move down and a wick that shot way high up past this, I believe he's explained that that would be an invalid order block. So the candle cannot close, nor can it have a wick above the order block. If either of those are seen above the order block, it automatically becomes invalidated or disrespected. The only exception to a wick or a body closing above an order block is an SMT divergence. And that is when the opposing chart that we're using, the NASDAQ, is conflicting or giving us a different price range per the movement on the liquidity sweep, right? It's starting to set in. It is 10 a.m. and I've had no sleep. But yeah, an SMT divergence is essentially the only exception to that wick shooting way up high over this order block. And at that point, we won't be trading off of the order block or the breaker block he's about to discuss. Instead, we'd be trading off the SMT divergence and building our same confluences on that chart instead, or whichever one's lagging behind, so we have the most optimal trade. I have found 5 examples of order blocks. We're getting there. Oh, darn, I'm going to pause you. We're getting there, chat. Look at that. That's almost completely enveloped this entire imbalance, this entire fair value gap right here. Y'all see that? I think I'm right. I think what's going to happen is price is going to shoot down into this. It's going to sweep this liquidity right here. Right? The candle's going to close roughly in this. It'll consolidate for a second. And then what it'll do is it'll rip. It'll rip really high up. It'll create a new high right there. I think that's what it's going to do. Because we have cleared this fair value gap almost. We're just waiting for it to come down even further. And it's getting there. Before today's done, it'll have cleared that. Breaker blocks. Move up or down prior to the break of structure to the up/downside in trend shift. I'm going to do this my way because the way he annotates it is very confusing to me. This. So he does this. Boom, 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 boom. So the way he annotates it, from this move right here, this leg going up, right? This is the order block that causes this liquidity sweep, right? What we're looking for is the breaker block, which is this move right here, this leg down. It'll come down, and that's what causes the order block, right? It's the move prior to the order block. And essentially, the way he describes it is this is the failed retrace that allowed market makers to manipulate and fill their in the uptrend, right? Their sell orders with the resting liquidity above these buy orders here. Because everyone at this point in time, right here, is thinking price is going to continue going up, press buy here. But in actuality, market makers are wanting to press sell. They're wanting that change in market. And so what they're doing is they're manipulating it. And per this failed retrace, they're going to fill as many sell orders as they can from the liquidity here, sweep the liquidity from the order block, and then push price lower. And he's going to have a more in-depth explanation. I'm going to listen to him right quick to see how accurate I am with that, with saying that. Just so we're on the same page, and I'm pretty sure I've said it again, like this will be the second time I say it, liquidity sweeps are orders being filled. Are market makers' orders being filled. So the way he describes it is breaker blocks are the lack of buy orders in an uptrend. I'm going to go ahead and take this, move it up here, boom. Breaker blocks, this move right here, is the lack of buy orders to keep price moving higher. Market makers see this and choose to manipulate the liquidity resting above this high here, creating the order block we see, sweeping liquidity, the order block that causes the sweep in the liquidity to fill all of the sell orders market makers want to fill with the buy orders from this liquidity pushing price down, breaking structure, forcing it lower. Pardon for my Picasso drawing. I'm sure he calls it that too. Let's go and do that. Let's go and do that. Boom. Not that. Yeet. This. Yay. This just became an inverse fair value gap. This whole move just became an inverse fair value gap, and we swept this liquidity. Did y'all see this right here? Y'all see that mess? I think price is about to rip. We just swept that like really, really well. Created 1, 2 imbalances. We have an inverse fair value gap, which is a sign of continuation. Price is going to continue moving higher, if I'm not mistaken. We actually closed way lower than I anticipated. That's actually wild. I think this would be an optimal time to press buy, because price, I think, is going to rip way high too. It's going to create a whole new high. All right, let's continue watching for breaker blocks. So breaker blocks, he's also describing as similar to that of fair value gaps in the sense of they are imbalances. Fair value gaps are the lack of orders being filled. Breaker blocks are the lack of buy orders within the market, right, in an uptrend, or the lack of sell orders in a downtrend, allowing the market makers to manipulate the previous high or low, depending on the trend, to fill their buy or sell orders in order to change the motion of, in order to change the trend of market, in order to break that structure and reverse per the liquidity sweep. And yeah, I'm getting there, chat. I am getting there. I am confident in my ability to learn this. I'm getting there slowly. Because I'm beginning to feel that fatigue, I'm beginning to feel that tiredness in myself, I think it's best if we go ahead and end today's video short. I understand it wasn't to the length I want it to be, and that I could honestly go a little bit longer and actually do this, but I want to retain this information as much as possible. I have liquidity sweeps down packed. I have order blocks down packed. I am now on to breaker blocks and equilibrium, learning how to use breaker blocks, learning how to use equilibrium, and from that, we're putting it together in the third video that is going to be posted Wednesday, the complete video, completely unedited, right? Wednesday, expect a video. Today, expect 2 videos. We're actually going to take video 1 and video 2, shorten them down a lot so it's a quick, cut dry. You get consistent information throughout it with maybe a little funny bits here and there. Maybe some nephew saying hi. Meh. If you enjoy this kind of content, I understand this is more educational kind of content. It's not really gaming, comedy, entertainment. This is primarily my way of learning a skill and applying it to real life application. I honestly think this price right here, I know y'all can see this, I think this right here is going to rip because we have created 2 imbalances. Yes, that is an imbalance. That is a small fair value gap right there now. I think we are going to have price rip way above this, and I am kind of excited to see what's going to happen tomorrow morning when we wake up and we are on the chart looking at this. But yeah, if you like this kind of content, drop a like. Subscribe to Orb Plus if you're into this content and want to see more of me learning this and actually taking trades and doing stuff. I won't be live streaming anything. I will be primarily recording this. So stay tuned for that. Turn on your notification bell to know when I upload. I will be literally, this is my way of journaling as well. It's notes for learning and journaling for when it actually is a thing. Subscribe, like if you enjoyed it. Comment down below if I got any of the examples that I chose to go over wrong, and I will correct them as time goes on. I will read those comments, I will read everything about everything, and I will have my constructive criticism feed the path to day trading. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the video. I think I'll see you. Yeah, I think I will know. I know I will see you in the next video. Have a nice day.